that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
Well, we don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, I like it. You can use a scraping.
It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things and, you know, and you know, look at them trying to.
The moment this story started gaining traction, most people laughed it off. It sounded too extreme, too unrealistic to even consider. But then more clips started resurfacing. Old interviews began circulating again, and people started noticing details they had completely missed before. That's when Candace Owens stepped in and began breaking it all down, and according to her, this isn't just some random internet theory. She argues there's a pattern hiding in plain sight, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. She didn't start by making bold claims. Instead, she focused on something simple: behavior.
Huge conspiracy theory about beloved Hollywood actor Jim Carrey right now because people are saying he's acting and looking very different. Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him, thus silencing him? This is like two conspiracy theories in one, so here's everything you need to know.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
So yesterday, 64-year-old Jim Carrey received a Caesar Award in Paris, which is like a French Oscar. And he was just suspiciously acting out of character for the iconic Jim Carrey personality. And longtime fans also noticed he looked younger or very different. And for a lot of actors in Hollywood, that's the norm. He's 64. I support people getting work done. But a lot of conspiracy theorists who are really just diehard fans say normally Jim Carrey would never do this. His whole brand is drastically changing his facial expressions and melding his face into whatever he needs to do for his role. It's just the last person you would ever expect to do that. But what's really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now. They are green, but they used to be very obviously brown. Is it him? Is someone new under the mask? And Jim Carrey is infamous for his whole career long time giving very powerful speeches against government corruption, against capitalism, against those in power.
Jim Carrey was devastated last September when his 30-year-old girlfriend killed herself. Now, 10 months after the funeral for makeup artist Katrina White, the just-released autopsy report details her final days. She left a suicide note for Carrey. They had broken up the week before. I've spent 3 days now in disbelief that you're not here. I can go on brokenhearted and try to put the pieces back. I could, I just don't have the will this time.
She had not been seen in 4 days at that point. The last person she'd spoken to, it's believed, is Jim Carrey.
Chris Spargo is a reporter with thedailymail.com, which obtained the autopsy report. Jim
Carrey texted her the night before, saying that he was actually missing a bunch of pills from his medicine cabinet, asking if she had them, but there was no response.
The toxicology report says she had multiple drugs in her system, including pain medication prescribed to an Arthur King, who is believed to be an alias used by Carrey, according to published reports.
She had obtained 3 bottles of pills from someone under an alias. It's believed it was possibly Jim Carrey.
Carrey last spoke to Katrina White via FaceTime for 3 minutes. Her body was found 4 days later in her rented home in Los Angeles. In her note, Katrina left the funeral arrangements up to Carrey.
We know they called Jim Carrey first when they found her body after finding her cell phone, before they even called her family. So he obviously was incredibly torn up about this, but he really was there in the aftermath.
She ended her note to Carrey saying, "Please forgive me. I am just not for this world." She signed it, Dewdrop, the pet name given to her by Jim Carrey.
She pointed out how certain celebrities seem to change almost overnight, not gradually, not after major life events, but suddenly. Their personality shifts, the way they speak changes, their energy feels completely different. And one of the most talked about examples tied to this conversation is Jim Carrey. Jim had also stopped attending award shows and at one point even called them the most meaningless thing he could think of.
In the streets, you need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're
I
celebrating.
mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe in
icons, boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry, you're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut her down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't
that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
Found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on PSYOPs
Who's this
in the
guy?
Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly, it took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look.
They would have Michael Jackson.
Or worse, yeah.
So look at
Candace Owens highlighted how people have long debated the dramatic shift in his demeanor over the years, going from high-energy comedic performances to a much more subdued, philosophical presence that felt like a completely different person to some viewers. Candace didn't say outright that anyone has been cloned. What she did instead was lay out a series of observations that raised questions. She talked about how fans often notice these changes first. They're the ones who watch every interview, every appearance, every detail, and when those fans start saying something feels off, it usually gets dismissed. But when the same kind of comments start appearing across multiple celebrities, it becomes harder to ignore. She also brought up how controlled the entertainment industry really is.
Today was World Autism Awareness Day. You both must be encouraged by all that's happened in this subject since you literally started it.
Yeah, we've come a long way within the community. When I first had Evan diagnosed with autism, there wasn't much of anything. I had to find out about biomedical treatment on the internet after I typed in autism on Google. And out 3 years later now, there's 3 books and many thousands of children getting better because of biomedical treatment.
Jenny brought so much focus to this problem. And kind of that's why I'm here, is I want to bring as much focus as we can to this problem.
You married autism. Well, you're not married, so you live with autism.
When I invited Jenny into my life, I invited Evan into my life. And when I first met Evan, it was like he was on another planet. I wasn't in the room. There was no eye contact. There was no response to dialogue. There was no affection. And over time, I witnessed Jenny pull Evan through the window of unconsciousness and isolation into our world, where he is now a fully functioning person who can communicate, who can connect, and this is through biomedical treatments, GFCF diet, and the therapies that she's talking about. So I believe that autism, in my heart, is preventable
and treatable.
Fully functional. He's
completely recovered, Larry, completely recovered. And he's not the only one. There are thousands in this community that are getting better.
Why did you go so publicly? I mean, you had an autistic child. He got better. So why are you here?
I could have, hid and not said anything, and Evan would have blended into society. I made a pact with God, though. The day Evan became diagnosed with autism, I said, if you show me the way, God, and show me how to heal my boy, I will continue to teach the world how I did it. And within 1 year of that kind of conversation with God, Evan was undiagnosed from autism.
But it's still shocking to see how many people are ignoring this information.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, I begged and have sat down with and said, why are you not sitting down with our doctors and our scientists who are treating and recovering children with autism? And they refuse to this day to sit down.
I think if there was any possibility that a child was being helped, that someone would listen, someone would take a look. And the fact is, they're not even considering the information. They're not only not considering, they're discouraged.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right? Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
According to her perspective, Hollywood isn't just about entertainment, it's about influence. The people at the top have a massive amount of power over what the public sees, hears, and believes. And when that level of control exists, it opens the door to bigger questions. Questions about how far that control could go if maintaining a certain image or narrative became a priority. One of the key points Candace Owens focused on was consistency. Candace pointed out that when these so-called changes happen, they often follow similar patterns. Celebrities disappear from the spotlight for a period of time, then return with a noticeably different presence. Their speech patterns shift, their body language changes, even the way they interact with others feels different. She encouraged viewers to compare older footage with newer appearances and decide for themselves whether the differences feel natural or something else entirely. Another part of her argument cantered around technology. She explained that most people only know about the technology that's publicly available, but there's always more happening behind the scenes, whether it's advanced AI, digital manipulation, or something more biological. She suggested that the public likely only sees a small fraction of what actually exists. And when you combine that idea with the level of control in the entertainment industry, it raises even more questions. Candace also emphasized how quickly certain discussions get shut down. The moment topics like this start gaining attention, they're often labeled as ridiculous or dismissed entirely. She pointed out that this reaction alone makes people hesitant to even ask questions. And according to her, that's part of the problem. If people are discouraged from questioning what they're seeing, they're less likely to notice when something doesn't add up. She didn't just focus on one celebrity, either. She talked about how similar observations have been made about multiple public figures over time. Different industries, different personalities, but the same kinds of comments from viewers. People noticing subtle differences that feel too consistent to be random. Again, she stopped short of making definitive claims, but she made it clear that the pattern itself is what deserves attention. What made her take stand out was her tone. She wasn't shouting or making exaggerated statements. She spoke calmly, almost like she was walking people through a puzzle. Piece by piece, she laid out observations and let the audience connect the dots on their own. That approach made it harder for people to immediately dismiss what she was saying because it didn't feel like a wild accusation. It felt like a series of questions that didn't have easy answers. She also touched on the role of the audience. According to Candace, people are more aware than they're given credit for. Even if they can't explain exactly what feels off, they notice it, they feel it. And when enough people start noticing the same thing, it creates a kind of quiet conversation that spreads without needing mainstream attention. As more viewers started revisiting old clips, comparing interviews, and analyzing behavior, the discussion continued to grow. Some people still rejected the idea completely, while others became more curious. But the one thing that changed was this. People started paying closer attention. They stopped taking everything at face value and began asking questions they never asked before. Candace made it clear that her goal wasn't to prove something beyond doubt. It was to challenge people think, to look deeper, to question whether everything they see is exactly what it appears to be. And whether you agree with her or not, that message stuck with a lot of viewers. By the end of it, the conversation had shifted. It wasn't just about one celebrity or one theory anymore. It was about awareness, about noticing patterns, about being willing to question things that don't quite make sense. And once that mindset takes hold, it doesn't go away. Because the real question isn't just whether something like this could happen, it's why so many people feel like something already has.